So knight c3, bishop g6 was played in last night's game. And I went a bit crazy now with knight e5. Okay, so maybe this isn't the best. So knight e5. So I'm setting up some cheap tactical ideas like queen f3. But I also thought, maybe if black's not careful, knight c6s are going to be on, with takes and then winning a rook or something. So he played actually c6, and here I was tempted already to just play queen f3, just to avoid losing a tempo again with bishop a4. But as I say, this pawn being blockaded is a major issue now I have with this game, because it's like those French defence positions where white has been prompted for knight f3 when in fact it's blocking the f pawn, and with the f pawn you could have done structural damage, often undermining black's pawn chain like that. It's sort of reminiscent of that on the other side, that I've been tempted for knight c3, and it's not brilliant here. So anyway, instead of queen f3 I played bishop a4. So this is against Eddie Holland, by the way. I should have really said that. He's 196, a bit higher than me. He hasn't lost any games in the Hearts League this year. He's got the same sort of rating performance, about 204 so far. So he's quite a dangerous player. So queen b6, castled. I castled here. After e6, I played another crazy move. I should have just... Okay, he's discouraging d4. And I was thinking, maybe d4 works. And I was thinking, should I play it anyway? So let's have a look. Queen takes. Now let's have a look at knight takes c6 with the engine. Does this work? Probably not. In this position, black's under no obligation, of course, to take. Black can just play rook c8. And is this any good for white? That's the question. Let's see. So say rook d1, queen c5. I think this isn't brilliant for white. Black's doing fine here, according to Ribka anyway. So that is why I didn't really want to play d4, but d3 apparently is fine. Just to move d3, I don't need to weaken myself. So I think I blundered actually quite badly with the move I played. So let's have a look at this continuation just with d3 for a moment. So bishop b3. Say black just castles. Bishop e3, kick the queen. Neutralise the b file a bit, and white really hasn't got much of an advantage here, 0.11. So again, as I say, there's no potential for inflicting structural damage on the black position here. So let's go back. Maybe it's because of that I sensed the position was too sterile, that I wanted to sort of add some excitement. So actually, in this position, after e6, I played the crazy g4, and I think black's just clearly better now after this move. He doesn't need to carry on routinely developing. He can just pounce on my weaknesses here, and this knight, this loose knight. So he did with queen d4. So I protect the knight, and now he attacks it again, prompting me to take his bishop. And here I thought, well, maybe I'm going to be okay. He took with the h pawn, and actually Ribka's giving fg, and I wondered about fg. Maybe that is the better way to try and exploit f4, because then rook f8, maybe it's a more dynamic way of using the f4 square. That looks good, and it's advantage for black, according to Ribka, big advantage. So let's see, h3, or maybe just castles, yeah. So and look at this f4 square. It looks horrible. So this might be the way to play it, because black has got the nice central pawns anyway, so even though it's capturing away from the centre's not so weak here for black, so maybe that's the way to play it. So maybe he had in fact blundered here with h takes g6, because in this position, although visually he's got the h file, I just play h3, and how is he exploiting this? Okay, he played knight d5, which Ribka likes actually, coming in straight away on f4. I played rook e4, and he plays queen f6, and yeah, black is better. I took his queen off, and I sense black is better, and I tamely, I know it's pathetic, I offer the draw, but I'm worse here. I have to defend this pawn from that rook, and after the draw, which to my surprise I thought I'm in for a long torture session here. But you know, he agreed a draw here. Okay, maybe it's just 0.15 to black, but it's not that big a deal. But apparently he didn't like playing without the two bishops, Eddie Holland. So okay, we had a very, very quick draw, but I think a lot of problems stemmed from not being able to inflict structural damage. So the time factor is completely squashed out of this game. If we go back, a lot of white wins are scored from the opening position here, with white not playing knight c3, but in fact, you know, delaying this move, just castling d4 and then c4 later, because then it's, you know, there's a lot of central pressure and potential for d5s and c5s if these pawns are together. So I think this is where I went wrong, and under the influence maybe of this victory in a 30-minute game, you know, a few weeks back. So from a theoretical point of view, I just want to emphasize something about these elements then. In Revolutionize Your Chess, you know, Viktor Moskalenko has listed the time element in his 5 touchstones. So basically, material, development, placing of pieces and pawns, king position and time, he's labelled them T1 to T5. But I still think that the time element, as I say, it was this transition period between the Romantic era of chess, where it was like gambits and open positions and the value of the initiative, you know, sacrifices, you know, to get to the king. Time is absolutely critical, and it's also in the personality of those players as well, like Morphy wanting quick results, wanting brilliant results, wanting to produce brilliancy prizes. So the time element, especially in open positions, is more prevalent, and I think we do need a very strong intuitive idea of when the time element is more significant and when it's not. And most people are becoming aware that in closed positions the time element is not so critical. But I think that needs to be refined to have, you know, a stronger grasp on that intuitive concept. That also the potential to open the position, or the potential to create structural damage, also means that the time, very interesting example position, that do you try and gain time with knight c3, or do you want your cake and to eat it? You want time plus the potential for structural damage, in which case, like a move like castles and, you know, rook e1, and, you know, delaying knight c3s basically. So you play like c4, and not only that, it's giving, you know, potentially the bishop can come back like this. If this bishop goes over there, then this bishop coming to c2 willih7. So there's a few other things going on here. So this kind of position, if we put this into Rybka, would we see an evaluation difference with the pawn on c4? So let's look from a theoretical point of view.